Tim Cook, Steve Jobs, because not many a times do you have US and the first US company actually hitting that 1 trillion market cap club. And just to put it into perspective, it is actually $50 billion more than the market cap of Sensex. So that's half more than what the Sensex has achieved.
Well, that's one part of the story. I think there are only a handful of countries in the world which have a GDP of $1 trillion. So what Apple has achieved, both in terms of a milestone and also in terms of creating a company of $1 trillion, it is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is a company which is being well tracked, well respected, very widely owned, and yet they continue to grow, whether it is iPhones, iPad, the cloud business, the kind of innovation they've come out with. You know, after the unfortunate demise of Steve Jobs, it was, in a sense, I mean, the jury was divided as to what would be the future of Apple. But Tim Cook in the saddle has taken things only higher, and Apple today is sitting at a real landmark level, so to speak. And bear in mind that even though it's a valuation of $1 trillion, it is not that the P multiple for Apple is at sky high level. It is not some 100 P multiple or 200 P multiple where crazy valuations are taking it higher and there's a herd mentality. The P of Apple is very reasonable. That's part one. Part two, cash, what they're sitting on. How much is that?
Enormous amounts.
$300 billion plus. $300 billion plus. It's like saying Apple, TCS and ITC and HUL put together. Since we're talking market cap, just the cash.
The India comparison is that, and the fact that, like I said earlier on, it's 40% of India's GDP. So while you're saying that some of the countries in the world would not have $1 trillion worth of GDP, from an Indian context, this is pretty much reaching the halfway mark of the size of our economy. But suffice to say that they have big plans in India, and I think with their emerging market strategy only picking up, that will also add in to the earnings. This is a pure earnings performance that you're seeing Apple create that $1 trillion in market cap, and it just rebases how companies are going to be valued henceforth. Because we're pretty much entering into a new era. I think there was a time, and you would know this better, Nikunj, when 100 billion was the benchmark, then it was perhaps 500 billion, and now it's $1 trillion, 1,000 billion. You know,
when you say you would know, you have been tracking markets, you guys make me sound so old, man.
No, but you've been tracking the markets.
No, and coming from
5 years
coming from girls on a Friday morning, it's sort of nice. Nice thing to start your day with.
It's a Friday, you'll forget by
tomorrow. You started off early, let me put it like this. So you're actually our age, but you have more experience.
Warren Buffett, I mean, talking about starting off early, someone who was the latest entrant into Apple, I'm sure he's smiling all the way, which he is always with all his investment, most of his investments. But
and you remember at the time when he made that investment, this was exactly 2 years back, he said that, actually a year and a half back, and he said that, I think there's a lot of value, and everybody was like, at 800 billion. Yeah. I remember particularly this comment that he made that, at 800 billion, he's not in for just a 20% increase in the stock price. He's there, unless it doubles, he's not going to be interested.
See, you must remember.
That's telling us something.
Yeah, you must remember that my sense is that the reason why Buffett bought into Apple is because Apple is doing a buyback. And if you own 4% of the company right now, in 3 years you'll end up owning 5% of the company. It is a consumer company which has a moat around it. In India, we may not see too many Apple users, but trust me, Apple as a usage, as a platform is something which has become a unique platform, at least for that part of the world. So what Buffett has done, I think, is also in compulsion at play, Tanveer, simply because how will he invest such a large chunk in a liquid name where he can enter and exit also? So that also is important. So yes, Apple